Hey guys, what's up? How ya doing? I'm here to talk to you guys about the new episode of Fire Force Season 3 Part 2 on Episode 7 or Episode 19 of the total number of episodes of Season 3. This episode right here was pretty nice to see how Maya and Charon's little backstory, well not a lot of it if anything else, but what the connection is, along with like what's to come, especially Fire Force Division 8 making their next move. So if anything else, let's just get this started right away. We get to see Shinra in the Adala world, I believe, and he's trying to find where Sho is. And unfortunately, the Great Cataclysm is starting to make its way into the real world. And we get to see a little small backstory when it comes to Charon taking a lot of hits from Hinawa's attack. And Charon ends up remembering and talking about how Maya very much and how she's suffering from all kinds of negative emotions, and that we have to it that Charon in his backstory when he was to guard Maya from any danger, he ends up taking a lot of hits from her for no reason. Well, let's just say he's like, hey, if it will make your burden a little easier to carry, you can hit me all you want. And we have to it like how Maya takes advantage of this, of course, when she was a little kid and ends up beating up Charon no problem. And of course, Charon, he could absorb the attacks, but he chose to take those hits no problem, like no tomorrow, because that's just how he cares for her. We had to it when Arrow and Charon were like talking with each other in this backstory or flashback. We get to see how Arrow's like, hey, you could have taken those hits by absorbing them, can you? But Charon's like, well, if I could take these hits and understand how Maya, that's fine by me. But when you start to guard someone, you'll understand eventually. Eventually, as the episode continues on, we get to know, I guess, how Maya used to be a very good person, or until then, she ends up having all these negative emotions, or she's able to read the minds of other people, which is very scary and very disturbing because sometimes you just know what they really are inside and that they are nothing more than possible scumbags. Other than that, Halmea will usually have these mental breakdowns, and Karen will usually take these hits for her just to make her feel a little better, or make her make her burden a little easier to carry. We get to see Hamea and Charon in one scene where Hamea asks Charon, "What do you think of me?" And he says, "Well, you can read my mind, can you? What do you think? Why don't you tell me?" And by that time, when Charon gets his mind read by Halmea, it's unconditional love, which shows that Charon really truly loves Halmea in a possible family sense, not in a romantic sense. Whatever the situation, Halmea seems to be quite attached to Charon. We see to it that Charon is willing to sacrifice himself to make sure that Halmea will be free from the pain that she's been suffering all this time. By that time, when Halmea was in the Adula world, I believe, she ends up sensing Charon possibly in danger, or his life is being threatened right now. We have to it, Charon is getting ready to blow himself up after taking a lot of hits from Hinawa, or should I say, I think Hinawa, yeah? Hinawa's attacks, and he's ready to blow himself up to buy time for Halmea. Halmea ends up saying, wait, Charon, don't do this, and this shows how much Halmea was counting on Charon so much, and that Charon, on the other hand, says, you could do the rest on your own, can you, Halmea? I know you can do it. And therefore, he ends up blowing himself up, possibly sacrificing himself, and this causes Halmea to scream in great agony and pain because Charon, I believe, is truly dead. Well, other than that, we get to see that the Great Cataclysm is starting, and that everyone's negative emotions is starting to show up. And we get to see the pillars starting to make their showcased right now. One is called Madness, the other one is called Passivity, Indifference, Rage, Destruction, Fear, Hate, and Despair. So, looks like to me, things are looking very, very bad. Like, the whole world is starting to make its Great Cataclysm, and it's being made by people, by humanity's negative emotions. So, in other words, the Great Cataclysm is starting in a way that's destructive because of the negativity or negative emotions from humanity. As for Giovanni, Arthur took care of him by killing him inside of Yu's head by using some kind of ability of Gamma Knife of his plasma ability. So, yeah, Giovanni, after all that talk of taking over Yu's body, ends up getting, like, what's the word? Destroyed, gets killed by Arthur's plasma blade. And by that time, we get to see Arthur getting ready to go into action once more. And then Fire Force Division 8 with Arrow, it looks like to me they all seem to be reunited. But unfortunately, the Cataclysm is something that they can't seem to stop. We have to it, Joker shows up and says it's really hopeless. Because I'm going to tell you right now, what's burning the world right now is humanity's negative emotions. So, basically from madness, passivity, indifference, rage, fear, hate, and despair, all those pillars that are shown up, they pretty much is like causing a lot of damage. Well, depending on your point of view. All I know is Joker is pretty much telling Fire Force Division 8, you can't stop this Great Cataclysm because it's being damaged by the human negative emotions. So if you want to like reverse that, you gotta bring in the positive emotions that could disperse it. And Fire Force Division represents the positivity or hope right now, and that it's not up in that, and right now it's now up to them to try to stop it. But we have to it that some Evangelist members are possibly going into action, getting ready to like possibly stop Fire Force Division 8. But the ending of the episode shows a lot of, I don't know, silhouette people getting doppelgangers, possibly getting ready to like go into action or ready to cause some crazy damage. Other than that, preview of next episode is gonna be called Where Hope Is. So yeah, this episode right here was really nice to see Kara and Hame's relationship and how Hame really truly cared and loved Kara like family, I guess. I mean, it doesn't look like it was a romantic kind of sense, depending on your point of view, but I guess like father and daughter possibly, who knows. Other than that, the Great Cataclysm is started and the world's being ruined by human negative emotions. So if you want to stop the Great Cataclysm, as Joker and Licht will say, you gotta come at it with positive and hopeful emotions. So now it's up to Fire Force Division 8 to figure out what to do next and make their moves. So until then, I'll see you guys later. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time. All right. Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot.